Okay, so I just watched the Joker Folie deux, and instantly I'll tell you what this movie really is. It's very realistic, okay? And that's one reason why people are not going to like this movie. When you make something so realistic, scenes are gonna be bland and boring. There's not much action that's gonna take place. There's not much twists and turns, and that's always the risk that you're going to take when you make a realistic movie. Like everything is believable, like every scene that's happening is very real. You don't find it funny or you don't find it fake or anything like that. But at the same time, there's nothing spectacular happening in this movie. There's no scene that you go back and remember. All right. Now, the first movie also was very realistic and grounded and disturbing. But when you see the ending of the movie, there's so much in the end that happens in the movie. In the first movie, this one's ending just, I don't know whether they even tried to do that or not, but it just does not feel as grand as the first movie. The ending was very subtle, and I feel like they purposely made it that way. They wanted this movie to end in a way that people can forget about it. They didn't want it to be remembered like the first movie was always going to be remembered. This movie sort of ends in a way that you want to forget about the character and just move on, right? And that's what they did in this movie. Now, everyone's saying this movie is super bad and it's a waste of time. I wouldn't exactly say that. Like, sure, if you like the first movie, this one isn't as good as the first movie. And it couldn't be. The first movie was amazing, okay? You cannot compare an amazing movie and say that, oh, just because this movie isn't as amazing as the first, it's a bad movie. No, it's not. The first movie was just such a high bar to beat, right? So it's still a good movie. It's like you can watch it once and then not think about it, right? I'm just against the people who say to not watch this movie, like skip it. Don't skip this movie. It's a movie that's worth experiencing, right? It's a different take, obviously, but it's a very different take. Like the first movie was a different take. You knew that. This one takes that to the next level. It makes him so much more human and so much more real. And I liked various scenes in the movie. They do some really good stuff in the movie, but overall, in my head and in everyone's head, I'm pretty sure you guys were all expecting something big to happen in the end, and that just does not happen. That's the biggest disappointment of the movie, is that there's no grand ending. It's just a realistic ending. It's a realistic, dark ending that the movie takes place. Now, I don't have a problem with that, but here's a spoiler warning, so you can click off this video if you want to, but the ending is it's a semi-spoiler, okay? I'm not exactly going to tell what happens in the end, but I'll tell you what it was inspired by. And if you watch the Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix series, yeah, something similar to that. And since I watched that, this did not feel, unique in a way. And I was really sad that this wasn't a unique experience, right? I was expecting this movie to feel different and unique and something that I've never experienced before, but that never happened with me. And I was very sad. And fortunately, Arthur Fleck, played by Joaquin Phoenix, he does a great job in his scenes, and he's still captivating to see. And every scene he's in, you just don't know what he's gonna do, right? You're just waiting, like, does he pop? Does he crack now? Does he do something crazy now? And yeah, unfortunately, he does nothing crazy throughout the movie. He's not the Joker throughout this movie. He's just this guy who's mentally ill and talking about stuff, and he doesn't even kill anyone in the sequel. It's like a much more toned down sequel. Like, trailers sort of like ruin the movie because they show you the best scenes of the movie. You see a bit of the explosion, you see a bit of him running in the street, and those are like the best part of the movie. And how much they show you in the trailer, that's exactly how much of it is there in the movie. There's nothing big that's hidden from you in the trailers. So if you've watched the trailers, that's what's in the movie. Like the Harley Quinn walking up the stairs, that's literally the only scene she does that. And the explosion and the running. Now let's talk about the musical. Everyone wanted to give this a chance, right? Musical. And I necessarily don't hate the musical part of this movie. I just thought it was unnecessary. Like, it did not bring in more emotion to the scene at all. Like, I wanted the musical to make me feel and understand the scene in a different way, you know? But every song and every time they start singing, I tried to understand it. I tried to connect with this scene. And maybe I just don't know the song. I don't know the lyrics. I don't know what they're talking about or the meaning of the song. But I just did not get it. Like, they could have just kept a silent scene with some background music, some eerie, dark music. And I feel like that would have sort of given more emotion. Like, remember when in the first movie he says, "Want to hear one last joke, Murray? Can I tell you one more joke?" And that sort of beat sort of keeps drumming and it sort of builds up and it gives you that heart racing effect of what's going to happen. Like, I would have liked scenes like that rather than being a plain musical with just them singing without any music playing in the background. It felt awkward at moments. So unfortunately, the musical element was not that good. Secondly, Joker doesn't do anything crazy in this movie. It's so weird. In the first movie, he shoots Murray. That was one of the best scenes in the movie. This does not have that. And I was so much waiting for it throughout the movie. Like, is he going to do something? He doesn't. So that's a big disappointment. But even after saying all of that, the movie is worth watching once. That's my take. You should watch it once. And you won't be bored. If you like the first movie, you won't be super bored. Like, you'll always want to know what happens next. Now, if you've seen this review or if you've seen some detailed reviews from people, then maybe you might be bored because you know that there's nothing to expect. But I didn't watch much reviews and I just went into the movie hoping that there would be something in the end. So my anticipation was continuously growing. So if you're like that, I think you should watch it once, right? But if just expect to see a very realistic movie that does not have much action, not even as much as the first one. Like, the first one had less action. This has nothing. So if you are okay with that, you should go watch it. Because it has brilliant acting and brilliant tiny moments. That's it. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.